Hello viewers and welcome to another episode of Excel Learning. In today's capsule, I am going to cover a topic which is actually an extension to the topic I covered few days ago. So few days ago, I had covered a topic on how do you combine hundreds of files using Power Query when the files are stored inside a folder. However, it was a very simplified scenario wherein you had only one header. Today I am going to talk about double header concept, and it is a practical challenge that many professionals face while cleaning up and consolidating data. So without any ado, let me first jump to the exact point that I'm trying to make here and how do we solve for it. I'll mention the link to the previous video in the description so that if you want to first visit that, you can do the same, and then you may come to this video in case you want to visit the earlier one. Now what happens, let me just increase the screen size. In the earlier video, the scenario that I had made was we had data wherein there was only one header. So the consolidation was to be done only for all the files, but the header was only one. However, in the revised scenario, you would see something called a double header, which means the headers are split into two parts, row number 1 and row number 2. Now you might think such scenario might not happen because mostly the data contains single headers, but I will tell you practically, having worked across multiple years, whenever you get output from ERP such as SAP or other ERPs, and also you get data from banks, often the data comes with double headers, and it is something which is very common. Now if we were to combine the data in the method which I had shown in the previous recording, what challenges we would face and how to overcome the same, that is something that we are going to witness in today's video. I will also be sharing the link to download the practice file. You may do so by clicking on the link in the top comment section or the pinned section. Now let us come to the problem. This is basically the desired result, that the combined headers, which means order and date. Let me just revise it for you. For example, here it was order was appearing in one row and date was appearing in second row, and what we required was a combination of order and date. So that is what we required, and this is the accomplished result. So if you see here, you will see that order date is coming together, region name is coming together, rep name is coming together, so on and so forth. So that is our objective. Now I have done it using Power Query, but let me just show you from scratch how to do it, what are the problems we face once double header arises, and how to easily overcome that. Now I'll delete this data because we don't want this. I will also delete the existing data model or the Power Query model to show you how to do it from scratch. So I'm deleting the existing model so that I can show it to you. Okay, now what is the first point? The first point is head over to the data tab, go to get data. Inside get data, go to from file. Inside from file, we will click on from folder. So this is the option that we need to select. So the moment I do that, I go to get data, from file, from folder. The moment I do that, it will ask for the path. So I'll quickly go over to the path and I will mention this as the path that I require. The moment I do that, it will take some time to do the calculations, and it has now come to the path. In that, as I showed in the previous video, we are going to click on combine. Inside combine, I'm going to click on combine and transform data. So the moment I do that, it will perform its back end evaluations and it will automatically write the query in the backend, and it will show me a Power Query screen. In the Power Query screen, it will ask me which sheet do you want to combine. So here I'll mention sheet 1. Any which ways, there is only one sheet in all the books that I've kept, but in case you have multiple worksheets, do specify this worksheet name which you want to pick, and it should be same across all the files. So I'm just taking sheet 1 as the name. The moment I do that, again it is processing the data from the backend and it is writing an automated query in the backend, and new Power Query screen will open in front of me with the logics. So here I am. So here I have got all the queries without having to touch any query by way of graphical user interface or by way of writing a code. All this has been written automatically. Now we will solve for the specific problem we were discussing. So the specific problem is, here we are having order and date, so on and so forth. So first let me show you what I had done the previous day so that you understand what is the complication, and then we'll solve for the complication. So we will simply head over to the transform sample file. Inside the transform sample file, what we had done last day was we had just used first row as headers, and that's how we arrived at the final output. But here you see, the moment I do that, date is not still getting captured as part of the header, which I want, because I don't want it to be named as order. I want it to be named as order space date. So that is a problem that we are going to solve, which is not solved by using the approach we used uh, in the last video. So I'll again go over to the transform sample file step. I'll delete this step. Now let's understand this logically. What we are going to do, we want to merge these two first. Now laterally it is not possible to merge inside Power Query. I mean, it is possible, but that is a way more complex job and it has to be done at a column level. We want to do it for all the existing columns inside the data. So we don't want to do it for one specific column, we want to do it for all the specific columns, or rather all the columns across the table. So what we are going to do, we are going to do some smart work. There is an option called transform, and inside transform there is an option called transpose. We will click on the transpose button. The moment you do that, all your rows have become columns and columns have become rows. Now you see the magic happening. I'll just select column 1 and 2 because these contain my headers which I want together, order, date, and I will right click on them and click on merge columns. The moment I do that, it will ask me for whether I want a separator. Yes, I want a separator to be space, and naming is not relevant. Whatever name it gives, I am okay with that. That's it, we are done. Now we have the desired name, now we have the desired name that we wanted. For example, order, date, region name, so on and so forth. The next step is, again we will repeat the transpose step. This brings us back to the original data structure, but with the column names combining two rows, or what we commonly call as double headers. Now our problem is solved. Now we will simply escalate it to the first row of header, and now we arrive at the inputs. Now you see the headers have captured the names accurately, and date, etc., in terms of text is no more appearing as part of the columns. Now what is the next step? Select the entire data by using Ctrl+A, and then we will go over to the transform tab and we will click on detect data types. This will help detect the data types and convert primarily the number data type into numbered. So 1.2 stands for decimal number and 123 stands for whole number. That's it, our job is done. We'll close the screen and we will have the data auto populated in a table and our objective is served. So the moral of the story is, while it seemed like a difficult fix, but if you understand and go into the right methodology for using Power Query, it can be solved quite fast and without any hassles. And the best part is, again, it is repeatable. So again, let me give that demo. So here I am at the 10th name, which is Andrew, and I will paste it inside the inputs folder. And after pasting, I just need to come back, right click on the table and click on refresh. That's all what I need to do. And you see here in the rep name, now Andrews is appearing, which was not appearing earlier. So it is equally interactive as earlier, just that it is more powerful and it is able to solve a real life problem of solving double headers while promoting it, as well as bringing the column header names together to get you a wholesome view. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more. See you in the next video.